Hey guys, welcome to Love, Life, and Politics, where I talk about love, life, and mostly politics. Per usual, I'm going to start by talking about some of the sources that I've been listening to throughout the week and encourage you guys to always have multiple different points of view and multiple different sources and stories so that you balance out your own biases and make sure that you're getting the right perspective. Number one would be Ben Shapiro and Louder with Crowder, then Timcast, and then Sticks, X, and Hammer, 666, and The Hills Rising. Those are the people that I listen to on a consistent basis that give me lots of different perspective. Some 2-in-1, others more specific in terms of left versus right versus libertarian. Anyways, the topics of discussion for today is going to be three things. First is going to be about Trump's parody website. Second is going to be Obama's commencement speech. And third, California paying illegals with our tax dollars. So, without further ado, let's talk. First thing I want to talk about is Trump's parody website, which this week was really catching everybody by storm, essentially. A lot of people were commenting on it, and it kind of showed that a lot of people aren't doing their legwork and actually looking at what they're reporting on. Sometimes I fall into that trap. I hear a lot of things, I digest a lot of things, but I've been getting that habit of making sure that I actually look at the stuff that I need to be looking at to get the right facts before I relay them to you guys. Anyways, he's got a website called Truth Over Facts, and it's essentially just like a Biden jab. He's just poking fun at Biden the entire time. He'll have videos on there that are like parody interviews and parody like explanations of stuff that's going on that isn't really happening, and it's very, very clearly a parody website. But when you're actually looking on Twitter, you're seeing that a lot of people are taking this seriously, actually thinking this is actually a slogan, actually a campaign that he's shooting for, and they are roasting him. But they support Joe Biden, and this is a parody of something that Joe Biden said at one of his speeches. And that's pretty much the tip. It just shows exactly what's going on with these people out there who are just seeing something, regurgitating it, and not actually looking any deeper into what exactly they're reporting on. And then, of course, we have more people out there on Twitter who don't actually do their research, who do the same thing, regurgitate it, post it, and then it just continues to reverberate throughout the Twitter sphere until everybody thinks Trump is actually using a campaign that goes by truth over facts, which is absolutely idiotic. My opinion over truth over facts, like in and of itself, is like truth over facts if you really think about it, because anybody can manipulate facts, to be honest. A lot of people will look at a set of data points and see quote unquote facts, but how they relay that fact to somebody can show if it's true or not. You can manipulate statistics, and the statistical analysis you have can be a fact, but the truth may not be attached to that fact that you're trying to relay. But that's just me. That's just me rambling on in my brain. But that's it for that. I just want to kind of talk about that. You guys might want to go check out that website. It's actually really funny. Anyways, next would be Obama's commencement speech. I'm going to be real honest with you guys and upfront. I did not listen to the whole thing. I really don't like Obama's speech anymore. Back in the day, it was like, all right, cool, this guy's really good at talking, but I'm kind of not, I don't care for it anymore. It's like, okay, dude, you're full of it. We know that you pretty much did nothing during your administration and undermined the next administration right before they took power. So I kind of don't respect you at all. Anyways, during this commencement speech, I got to give him props, though. He's really good at being slick. He definitely makes you think what he wants to think, but kind of leaves himself some plausible deniability, but not very much, because we're all aware of what's going on right now, so we know what jabs he's actually taking at. But as somebody who's not initiated in American politics, it's like, oh, cool, he's just saying stuff. I don't think he's taking jabs, but he definitely was. There's a point where he's talking about how you can clearly see that the people who are in charge don't know what they're doing and are not even pretending to know what they're doing. That's not a direct quote. It's like a summary of what he was saying. And it's like, really, man, at a commencement speech? It's like there's nothing that goes on in this day and age that isn't injected with politics. And yes, I understand. I speak about politics a lot because I'm very interested in it. But a lot of people out there who just want to watch a football game, watch a basketball game, do this, do that recreationally, that before weren't hyper sensitive to politics are now being hypersensitive to politics. So even your commencement speech has to take a jab at the current sitting president, who is doing what he can to make sure that people are able to put food on their tables, as well as trying to take measures to prevent people from dying. But I'm sure he's not trying to make these students think rationally. He just wants them to think that the current administration is completely incompetent, which is ridiculous. Kind of shows how he thinks of the people he's speaking to, because he assumes that this entire body of people he's making a commencement speech for think like him, think of the president the way he does. Instead of talking about the values that they should have instilled in them, instead of talking about the things that they need to be focused on their way forward in the path of life, now that they've reached a point where they got that certificate, they got that graduation, he's trying to inject his own personal beliefs into people. Don't like the guy at all. That's pretty much it. That's one major thing that was going on in the news. And third, California paying illegals with our tax. So essentially, the government's trying to shift hundreds of millions of dollars and kind of do what they did for us. Immigrant families would receive, it said, something around $500 per person, with a maximum of about $1,000 or $2,000. I don't know the exact amount. Regardless if it's $1, $2, or $3, or $1 million, for all I care, you should not be giving our money to people who should not be here to begin with. It seems that one side, when it comes to politics and when it comes to dealing with people who are in our country illegally, just thinks it's okay. In fact, you're supporting people and incentivizing them to come here. And it's hard for me to try to argue against the conservative argument that you're doing this because it's going to secure you a future voting base. You're eventually going to have to give all these people amnesty in your opinion, and then they will, of course, vote for you because you are the ones that gave them amnesty, and the population group tends to favor the Democrats. But it's slowly changing. Hispanics are starting to vote a little bit more Republican, and blacks are increasing in support for our current president, which was supposed to be like the Republican racist, so to speak, even though he's done better for blacks than arguably any other president in history. But I mean, after Lincoln, every other president in history. Anyways, they're trying to essentially funnel money from some of the relief measures into immigrant families. And I'm a Christian. I think everybody needs to be treated the way they should be treated. But even Jesus said, give Caesar unto his. Respect your government. I mean, we're not telling you to do anything that is against your religion. You can take care of these people in their country. But when you are taking sources from me against my will, you do not ask me to give my tax dollars to these people. If California wants to use California's money, by all means, do that. You do. I would hope that you would have your citizens vote before you start using their money for things they did not want you to use their money for, on people who should not have money being spent on them because they did not follow the rules to get in here, get in line after everybody else. But I mean, if they want to do it with their money, cool, great. I think our federal government should factor in how much they're giving to illegals with respect to how much the federal government is going to give to the state, because the people who come here illegally are, it's not just California that's being affected, it's our entire country, because our entire country pays into this federal pocket of money that is used for our centralized government. And I'm a big small business person. Like I'm not small business. I am that too, but small government person. But whenever we do give our government money, it needs to be used for things that we need it to be used for, like protecting us, like make sure our rights are being upheld. And over the past couple hundred years, the government has been overreaching in many, many aspects, paying for things it should not be paying for. The government should not be paying for people's health care. Simple. Now, if everybody votes to have the government assist some people who really, really, really need it and have gone through every other measure first, like family, neighborhood, local government, state government, then national government. That would be amazing if they went through those proper channels, and once it reached a point where things could not work and those people were not able to give them the resources they need, it would make sense that the federal government would give a little bit of help. But our government is now essentially, Social Security was dumb as well, in my humble opinion. Economic opinion too, because we're going to be like swimming in debt because people are living longer, working longer, Anyways, it's just crazy. We're overreaching, and these people are overreaching even beyond the means of our government shouldn't be taking care of our people's cushy lives. We're not supposed to be taking care of each other. The government is supposed to protect our rights, and we're supposed to take care of ourselves and one another. We should not be relying on the government for things. Now we have states and legislators trying to teach people who should not even be here in our country to rely on our government as well. It makes no sense at all, and it's not fair to the people who actually pay into the system, the people who followed the rules to get here, whose parents followed the rules to get here, or at least have done the best that they can with their lives to make sure that they're able to do things that are correct in this country legally. And we're just throwing it away to people who shouldn't be here. Honestly, all that money, they should find a way to use it to deport these people, in my humble opinion. I'm not evil. Put them in the back of the line. As simple as that. Put them behind everybody else who did it the right way. That's the least you could do. Skipping the line, you should just get kicked out. Simple as that. Somebody try to skip the line. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Back in the day in school, I definitely skipped the line at lunch. People love me. They let me do it. But in terms of economics in the real world, especially when it pertains to coming to the greatest country on the face of the earth, I would say arguably in the history of the earth, you've got to follow the rules. Simple as that. They got to go, and we shouldn't be paying for them. Period. But that's what I think. That's what's happened throughout the week. I thank you for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Leave comments at the bottom as well of anything you want me to talk about in the future, anything you want me to do a little bit of research on, things you just want to hear me talk about. To support this channel, I don't have any major streams yet of income so that I can grow the channel. So I wrote a book. It's called Why I, a Young Black Man, Voted for Trump. If you want to send any type of monetary income to the channel to help it grow, please purchase that book and get everybody else to purchase that book. I appreciate you guys for listening. I hope you have a blessed one and you stay safe.